Hello everybody, how's it going in the left? Welcome to the freaking streams. Nice to see y'all. Hold on, let me turn on the light. Hello. Welcome back to the streams. Today it's Sunday, which means we have a brand new, fresh freaking week coming up, and we're about to see what the charts are saying. Let me just wait for a few more people pull up. Hello Giuseppe, hello Luca, hello FSH, hello Abdullah Samad, hello Professor, hello Tabriz, hello Kaloyan, hello Modi. What's up, Professor Bat? How you doing, bro? Let's see what y'all are saying. We'll go to the gold. We should start off at on the daily, of course. Even though there's not much to say on the daily, we can still start off there. 36.35 is a good buy-in level is a good buying level. 36.35. I'll get into that. I'll get into everything, chat. I will answer all your questions. Let me just wait till everybody gets the message, everybody pulls up. We're also gonna do giveaways today. I think Spencer told me we're gonna do two 5K accounts, and that's it. So be ready for that. That's gonna be at the end of stream. But before that, we got some market predictions to get through. Whoa, giveaway, right? Giveaway on a Sunday. Yo, Bard is nice, chat. Bard is nice today. Today you got nice Bard. Random ass giveaway on a random ass Sunday. Who would have thought? I barely even do giveaways on Thursdays, let alone Sundays, bro. Hold on, give me 1 second. Someone's calling me. Yo, hello? Sorry, boys. Alright. Let's get to this gold analysis, shall we? Let's not waste any more time. So if we look on the daily, I personally don't see anything on the daily. I see a straight line up. I see imbalances being created. Yes, imbalances have been created, but I don't really see any crazy structure. Nothing we can really go off of. So we'll do this. What the hell does Bard OP? Anyways, I don't know what Bard OP means. Hopefully it's something positive, guys. Otherwise we'll be really mad. But we got a void on the daily. That's all we're gonna mark up on the daily. We're gonna mark up this void, and that's it. Nothing else. Right? As you guys see, boom, boom. Right? You can even use this as a void, but we're gonna use this for now. Right? And then we got the 4 hour. Ooh, that's a 4-hour void as well, chat. That's a nice void right here, chat. You know what? It's a beautiful void. That might be something the daily is looking to tap into. That might be something the daily looks like. Not gonna lie, I didn't think that was a void on the 4 hour as well. Now looking at the 4 hour, seeing that that's a void on the 4 hour, that looks like a really good interest area. Hold on, let me check what Forex Factory is saying. We got, hold on, let me see. I'm just trying to see what news we have. Okay, so tomorrow, orange folder, Empire State Manufacturing Index, nothing crazy. Tuesday, we got red folders, retail sales, core retail sales, nothing crazy. Wednesday, FOMC. And then Thursday, unemployment class. Okay, so we got a big week, chat. We got a big freaking week, all right? We got a big week. Bro, we got FOMC this week. I totally forgot. Anyways, we got a big week ahead, chat. We got a big week ahead. But let's still try and make the most of it, all right? So, look at the 4 hour. We got an interest area right here. So, I personally think gold will look to tap this area. I think we have an imbalance on the 4 hour. It's also an imbalance on the daily. It's also a void. Therefore, I think the 4 hour will definitely tap into this area. How will it tap into this area? Well, I'm going to check here on the lower time frame, see if I can mark any zones, see if I can plan some trades out. I see a really nice area, chat. I see a really nice area right here. Oh my days, chat. Yo, y'all see that too? Y'all see that too? Bam, 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 boom. All right, so very simple here. I always say this, chat. Asia does one thing. Asia grabs highs or grabs lows, then goes in the other direction. That's as simple as it gets. That's what Asia does. So Asia's either going to grab the lows, chat, or going to grab the highs, and then we're going to push the other direction. So I'm going to mark up my two zones here. We are in a range currently. We're in this range between here, between 36. Let me go a bit further to the right. Bam, bam, bam. Between 36.55.5 and 36.39.7. That's the range we're right now, chat. We also have this small area right here, which we can mark that up. We can mark that up a bit right there. Small area on 36.49, as you guys see, but nothing really to think about. So here's the deal. We tap into fill the range down, tap it, fill the range down, tap it, fill the range down. Okay, so we got two confluences. We got 36.35 or 36.55. Like so. The reason I'm saying this, chat, is two big reasons. First reason is every single time you reject off of the area 36.55, you fill the range down to you fill the whole range down, right? You see? Rejection, rejection, rejection. Every single time you fill the range down, right? At least to 36.44, right? So you can easily take a 100 pip sell from 36.55. So first reason, you almost always see a full rejection once you tap this area. Second reason, huge reason. Once you grab these highs, chat, that's a liquidity grab right there. Liquidity grab above this high, which I told you guys earlier. What does Asia session do? Asia session usually grabs the highs and then pushes in the other direction. So I believe the Asia session will grab these highs. If we come up, grab these highs, tap into this strong area of resistance, and then reject from this area and fill the range down, right? After grabbing liquidity and also after tapping this crazy range, right? That is what I'm expecting gold to do, chat. So first position you guys should think about 36.55.5. First position. Second position, closures below 36.39. That is a very strong decision area, and I don't have to explain myself here. Just look for yourself, chat. Use your God-given eyes and just look for yourself. Whenever price closes, whenever a candle closes below 36.39 area, where do we head to? We got two instances where that happened. We got here and we got here. Price closed below this area. What happened after you closed below the area? Motherfucking waterfall, right? Waterfall down, right? Other times it has rejected. But this indicates that this is a very strong area because when it rejects hard. When it rejects or when it dumps hard. Which in other words, it's a decision area. Yes, FSH is the decision area. Good shout. So what we're going to do, we're going to wait for closures below. So I'm going to name this song right here. Boom. Sells below here. So simply wait for closures below like so. So those are the two positions, guys. Those are the two positions. Now, you guys might ask, Bart, how the hell do we know if he's going to reject here or not? Right? Do we just sell as soon as we tap this area? No. Once you tap this area on the 30-minute, you go down to the 5-minute, chat. And once you're on the 5-minute, you wait and see some sort of rejection down. Right? So, for example, when you tapped it here, you saw, oh, price tapped it, rejected, and then you saw a break of structure right here. And right here was the entry. You could enter the sell down. Right? Same thing up here. You tap this area, you had higher highs, higher lows. You tap this area, and then you saw a break of structure right there. Boom. Retest, and there could have been your sell right there. So you go down to the 5, and you verify that it is rejection. It is rejecting. That's what you do. So make sure, chat, to always go down to the 5. If you see a very strong, very, very strong push up, right? If you see a very, very strong push up, be careful on selling. Right? If you see something like this, where you just see a bunch of green candles here, be careful selling before you retake the highs. So let me give you an example right here. As you guys see, price, look at this. Dude, such a clear fucking example, chat. Such a clear example. Big push up. Like, this is Trader 101, chat. Big push up. Consolidation. Rebreak of the lows. Fake out. Liquidity grab, and then there's a real dump after that. That is trading 101, chat. That happens every single time you see a big pump. So if you guys see a big pump towards this area like you did here, be careful, because here you saw a big pump and you saw price come down. A lot of people sold here. Grab the highs. Once you grab the highs, then when it rebroke structure, you could have taken sells. Same thing here. Big push up, came down, rebroke the highs, and then you dumped. So if you see a very strong push, now if your price comes up, with structure, you don't really have to look out for that, right? If price comes up with structure, does something like this, you're good. But if price just starts, boom, just wait for price to do its thing, then wait for a retake of the highs, and then look for a sell. All right. But either way, sell. So yes, Nikolov, either way, it's a sell. Either from these highs right here or on closures below this decision area. You could look for buys. Like, don't get me wrong, chat. Buys looks good as well, right? I could easily see something like this happen. Boom, boom. But that's why we wait for closures. Because again, Asia session does one thing. It takes out the highs or the lows. Asia session could also take out the lows. So we could take out these lows. And then after you take out these lows, you grab liquidity, you push up after that. Asia could do that too, for sure. But that's why we wait for closures, right? We don't take sells just if price wicks here, we don't just take a sell off of wick. Right, we wait for price to close and then retest, and then we look for a sell. But yeah, boys, that is my prediction on gold, because on the daily, chat, on the daily and on the 4-hour, I do believe we're going to tap this area right here. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but one day. No, I'm kidding. But this week, we're going to tap this area, this void right here. Assuming FOMC doesn't send us to the moon, we are going to tap this area. So I'm expecting sells. I'm going to look for sells personally. And that's my plan for this Asia session and for this week mostly, because we do have a lot of things to do, or we do have a lot of imbalances to fill to the downside. Those are my positions to gold, chat. You guys know every single time I give out a position on an LF stream, I try my hardest to make it as accurate as possible. So make sure to follow it. Make sure to stay logged in. If you trade Asia session, if you're like me and you sleep through Asia session, make sure to trade New York and London. But you guys got the positions here. Any questions for any other pairs USD? Any questions for other pairs? Like Euro USD, USDJPY, EU. All right, let me check EU. Let me check JER 40. My bad. Let me check GU. I just got sidetracked. My bad. Euro USD. Crazy how I saw your pop-up notification at 1 in the night and didn't think twice but hop on it. My guy, my fucking guy. That's what I like to see. Dedication, chat. That's dedication. 1 a.m. Sleepy as fuck, doesn't matter. The charts doesn't wait for anybody. I love that shit, bro. I love that shit for real. All right. We got EU. Very simple, chat. Very simple. I see EU filling the range down. I see EU feeling this wick right here. Boom. Oh my days. But what was this Friday, chat? Yo, what the hell was this Friday? 12th September. This was Friday, chat. What the hell? Dude, I feel bad. I feel bad for anybody that traded your USD this Friday. Because what the hell? Look at this candle. That's all of Friday's price action. Friday moved within this range right here. Friday moved 6 pips. No, that's a new candle. I'm retarded. Sorry, chat. Sorry, chat. I'm retarded. That's a new candle. I forgot the market has opened. Yeah, that's Friday was the previous candle. But that wasn't a big movement either way. That wasn't a big movement either. I'm fucking stupid. But that wasn't a big movement either. And the analysis still stands. I still think you're going to fill this wick down. So on the daily on your USD, you guys see you have a very big wick, and compared to this current wick, it's very small, right? And usually wicks like to get filled, right? This wick gets filled, the wicks get filled. So usually the wicks get to fill at least 50%, right? So I'm expecting your USD to come down. If we look on the 30-minute, you also just rejected off a very, 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 very strong decision area. So if you look right here, this area in the past is super strong. Boom. Right? Rejection, pump, and you see a bunch of rejections here as well. Rejection, rejection, rejection. So since we rejected now as well, I see your USD coming down towards this area right here. Hold on, let me look. Around this area right here, I would say. Right? So sells on your USD down towards 1.17145. That's what I think on USD, just based off of the 30-minute decision area tap on a very strong resistance, as well as the daily wick fill to the downside and the 4-hour rejection area as well. Very crooked, also a very crooked head. It's a head. It's like imagine somebody that just got surgery on his shoulder. It's a very crooked head and shoulders, chat. Very crooked head and shoulders, but nonetheless, it is sort of a head and shoulders. So that's my analysis on AUD. I'm just gonna look for sells. Buys wouldn't really interest me. If you're gonna take buys, just look for buys off of closures above this area right here. All right, closures above 1.17433, because that is a closure above decision area, and you usually do. No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. You know what? Let me take that back. I wouldn't even take buys at all. Probably. Yeah, I wouldn't take buys. I take buys lower. I take buys. Probably take buys around here, this area, chat. Right. So that's what I'm gonna think about. That's what I'm gonna think about doing on EU. I'm gonna take sells right now. This Asia session, I'm gonna look for sells down to 1.17152, right, to fill this range down and fill the previous daily wick. And then I'm gonna wait for price to tap into this area, and I'm gonna look for buys off of that area right there. So that's EU. Any other pairs, chat? Any other predictions you guys want from my side? They usually have like major and minor zones barred. I only have major zones, right? I have like one minor zone, but I have mostly major zones and like a few minor zones. For example, on gold that I told you about earlier, I have 2 major zones. So I have 3655.5 and I have 39.7, and then I have like a minor zone right here. Boom. We got GJ. I hate GJ, but I can still check it out for your guys' sake. All right, I'm gonna say one thing on GJ, and then I'm gonna leave it because I don't like GJ. I'm gonna say one thing, chat. If this current candle doesn't push that, This is what we're going to see on GJ. That's my prediction on GJ. First and foremost, the daily has no top wick. If you guys just look at the odds of the daily closing with no top wick, it is really, 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 really low, right? In the last, this was May 2024. Since last year, chat, since last year, you've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 4, because this one hasn't closed yet. In the last year, you've had 4 days of the whole year, 4 days out of 365, where candle has closed with no wick. So the chance of this candle closing with no wick is extremely small. So on GJ, you want to spam buys. Now, I don't say spam buys all the time. I'm saying wait for areas to get tapped. So these are the areas you're looking at, and then just look to buy from these areas right here, either there or there, or you can just start adding buys until this area with stop loss pretty low. But that is my prediction at GJ chat. Just spam buys off that area because of the reason I just explained. Very low probability that you don't flip on this current daily candle. Bart, sorry for the stupid questions, but what does a pips mean? I don't get it. Pips is a way of measuring how much price moves. So a price movement. So for example, on gold, a movement of $1 on gold is 10 pips. Right? So that is pips. It's just a measurement tool. BTC/USD, I don't trade crypto, so I'm not gonna do an analysis on crypto, since I don't know what the fuck I do. I don't know what the fuck to do on crypto. It's not my thing. US30. I can check out US30 chat. Currently on an uptrend. We'll more than likely see the daily come down and then keep going up. So something like this on US30. So probably gonna look for buys on US30, where you can look for buys from. I'll say this is a really pretty good area for buys right here. Right, so I'd look for lower, my bad, lower. I just saw the move you made last week. So this is what I would do on US30. I'd look for buys from 45.6. Around 45.6, I'd look for buys, just because if you look on the 4-hour, that's going to be the 4-hour bullish trend continuation after a retest right down here, like so. So price obviously is an uptrend. You're creating higher highs, higher lows, right? So right now you're going to create another higher low, which is going to be above this higher low. And then after you do that, you're also going to fill this imbalance, and then you can start looking for buys. So what I think that the US30 is going to do, the daily is going to open up, create that bottom wick, right? Daily is going to open up, create a bottom wick. If you create a bottom wick first, look for buys. If you create a top wick first, look for sells. But I would look for buys from 45.6. USD CHF. Never traded this pair in my life. Big downtrend on the daily. Yeah, looking for buys. I'd look for buys. I'd probably look to buy on daily flip. So once the daily flip, I think it's probably going to fill the range up around this area and grab this high right here. Right? So you can look for buys once this daily flip towards this area, or you could also look for buys off a decision area, which I don't really see where it's at right now. Yeah, this area right here. So something like this. Oops. Or just straight up if you flip on this candle right here. That's what I'm going to look for on CHF. USD CHF. So I'm going to prioritize buys just because if you look on the daily has no top wick and it has a big previous top wick to fill. Right here, you see? No top wick, barely any top wick, and a big previous top wick to fill, which means this daily is probably going to just fill. Now, obviously, it gapped up, so it's going to fill the gap and then eventually flip and fill the top wick up. Also, the fact that you've failed to break the lows. Right, you made a low, you failed to break the lows, and this looks like the start of a trend reversal. What about beloved UJ? Oh, beloved UJ. Let's see what our beloved UJ is saying. We currently do have a compensation play, but it's Asia session. So since it's Asia session, we can't really take the compensation play, not early Asia at least. But yeah, UJ looks good for buys. As you guys see, that daily looks good to flip. So, or that daily looks good to fill the wick up. So I'm going to mark this area up so I see where it is. 2. It's 2 here. Well, buys. I'd say buys on UJ. Where buys from? Well, that's a good question. Let me see. It's a really good question. UJ is hard. UJ is in a tough place at the moment. Hold on, guys. Let me focus here because I just gotta figure UJ out. No, I'm gonna stay out. There's no way it's forcing that. So UJ, I probably wouldn't touch UJ. I'll be honest with you, bro. I wouldn't touch UJ until you start seeing more structure form. Right? You could say a compensation play is forming, and is it a valid compensation play? Yes, it's a very valid compensation, beautiful compensation play. But the market literally just opened 30 minutes ago, so it's not a wise choice to trade the compensation play. Which doesn't matter what kind of play it is. It's not a wise choice to do it right now because the market has just opened, and whenever Asia session opens, it can do whatever it wants. So I'd wait for price to calm down. But one thing I can say for certain is the one thing I can give you, bro, is I do think the previous daily is going to get filled. So I do think price is going to move up and at least fill this wick right here. So I am bullish for this wick to get filled. Now, if we're going to make a top bottom wick first and then fill the wick, I don't know. Might happen, might not happen. But I could give you this. I could tell you this as well. Sells below this area seem pretty nice. You have a pretty strong decision area right here where price does reject from. So sells on closures below this area right here to fill the range down to boom. So sells here. So that's all I can see on UJ at the moment. Otherwise, I'll have to wait for more structure to get formed. On the daily, yeah, it's in a very strong consolidation area. As you guys see, UJ currently on the daily is just moving sideways. It's no real direction. All right, I'm gonna do one last one, boys. CHF, CHF JPY. Nice, thanks a lot. No worries, man. I got you. CHF JPY. Big uptrend. Daily just opened. I would look for buys on CHF JPY off of I'd look for buys off of this area right here. Strong decision area. Very simple. Every single time price taps this area, it either rejects hard or pumps hard. Rejects, dumps, rejects hard, even gaps above it, but dumps. See some rejections here as well. Reject. Right. So I would wait for CHF JPY to tap this area down here, and then I'll wait for price to make way up. So I'll look for buys here. I'll see it also makes sense on the daily. This is a daily look. Same idea as other pairs, chat. The daily has a very small top wick compared to the previous top wick right here. Right. You guys see a big small daily top wick and a big previous daily top wick. The top wick's probably going to come down, tap this area, and then flip and fill the previous daily top wick. So something like this. It's bound to happen on CJ. Anyways, that's it for me, chat. Those are my pre-market analysis for Asia session and the coming few days. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate y'all. If you haven't got an NLF account, chat, remember this is on the Next Level Funded YouTube channel, so make sure to go to the website. Right now, we're still running 50 for 50. We can get a 50K account for $50, and we're still running 20 for 20, which is our best promo and most sold promo. 20K account for only $20. So make sure to go to the NLF website, nextlevelfunded.com, get yourself a freaking account. So because again, these analysis that I make, chat, doesn't mean shit if you don't have an account to trade on. So you better get an account, otherwise you will miss the moves. But yeah, boys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. NLF on fucking top. And I will see you guys this week on Thursday for another stream here on Next Level Funded's YouTube channel. All right, everybody. Take care. Trade safe and peace out.